Hi, welcome to episode 34 of The Corner of Knit and Tea. I'm Laura, also known as Fluffy K on Ravelry, Fluffy Kira on Instagram and Twitter. I blog over at The Corner of Knit and Tea, which is where this episode will be hosted, along with YouTube, and where all the show notes will be. I have an Etsy shop called The Stash Buckler Adventures in Yarn, where I sell my hand-spun yarns. And we have a Ravelry group called The Corner of Knit and Tea. If you haven't checked us out yet, you should come on over and join the group. Hi, how are you? It is Sunday, April 5th, which is Easter. I hope that if you celebrate, you are enjoying a wonderful day. We do not celebrate. The weather this weekend has been a little overcast, but beautiful temperatures. And we actually took my husband's bike, he has a Harley, and we took it out last night for a ride and went out to dinner. And today he is riding with another friend. They took a bike ride about an hour south of here and are going to stop and get some lunch and then go ahead and ride back. And he'll be home in time for dinner. So I have the house to myself, which is wonderful. And I thought I would record a little bit of an episode, and then I have a book that I'm reading that I'm anxious to get to. And I also have some knitting cut out for me, as I will show you. So, I am still in a spot where I am alternating between hot and cold tea. I know that pretty soon I will probably stick with iced tea, but it is 60-ish today, and while it is beautiful out, and I'm certainly not complaining, I decided to go with a hot tea today. I picked up some Harney & Sons Cranberry Autumn. They had a sale towards end of fall, beginning of winter, and I placed a huge order with them for a variety of things, but this one was on sale. It is listed as, let me see, black tea with cranberry and orange. The ingredients are black tea, hibiscus, cranberries, orange peel, and other flavors. And I love that they come in these little tins. I just think they're so pretty, and this actually is not a loose leaf tea, or at least not, it didn't come as loose leaf, it came as tea bags. So you can see, although they are fancy tea bags, they're little pyramids, and they do have lots of loose leaf in them, so I wouldn't, so tea is sort of graded. When you order loose leaf tea, you get sort of the best of the leaves, as many of the whole leaves and pieces that they have. Tea bags are often, it's the same tea, however, it is the smaller bits and pieces, and also what they call tea dust or tea fannings, the kind of fine powdery stuff. So particularly when you're looking at tea bags that aren't so much mesh, like these are pretty open meshwork. But when you're looking at, for instance, paper tea bags, part of the reason that you only get one decent brew from a tea bag is because a lot of it is dust that sort of melts into or dissolves into the tea the first time, not leaving a lot behind. So tea snobs often prefer leaves because you can get more brews from the same cup and you have more of the whole leaves in the tea. So I would say this is probably a mid-range because, and that's why I often go with loose leaf tea, although there are some that I just love in tea bags. So that's your 2 seconds on tea. So this is Cranberry Autumn from Harney & Sons. And I am drinking my Cranberry Autumn in my Jenny the Potter sheep mug, black sheep and white sheep. And I purchased this when I went to Maryland Sheep and Wool last May, so almost a year ago now, and just thought I would use it today for a little bit of a sip. So that's Cranberry Autumn. Ooh, and that is really good. I thought I might like that. I tend to like fruity teas, and I like black teas, and I like all the kind of fall and holiday flavors. So definitely give this one a thumbs up. So, you know, I sat down to think about what I was going to talk about and my knitting and spinning this week, and I had gotten a decent amount of spinning done. So I thought, gosh, I didn't get a lot of knitting done. And I did kind of get a lot of knitting done, although I have some stuff to replace. Or to re-knit, I guess. And this one's actually really frustrating. So last week, I showed you the first of my calendula cable socks. These are by Volhoon. It is a free pattern on Ravelry, and I am using the Lammy Toes. It's her BFL nylon in an experimental colorway, so it does not have a colorway name, but it is just absolutely gorgeous. Last week when I talked to you, I told you I had done the ribbing and just a little bit of the second sock, and I got all the way through the heel on this sock. Now, I will tell you, the cables are designed to go opposite directions, and I did reverse the cables and did so successfully. However, if you notice the way I'm holding these socks, you will realize that I knit the heel in the wrong place on this one, because it really should be this side that has the cable, because they're meant to be mirror opposites. So I knit the heel on the wrong 30 stitches. Now this is particularly frustrating to me, not because I did it once, but because I did it twice. I actually picked this up to knit the heel onto it earlier this week, and from about 7 o'clock in the evening to about 9 o'clock in the evening, I knit the heel, and then I looked at it and said, oh God, I knit that on the wrong section. And I ripped it out and I reknit it. And to be honest, the first time it was right, and the second time it was wrong. And this sock was still on the sock blocker in my craft room, and because I didn't go look at it, I messed up. So now I have to rip again and knit it the original way. So yeah, this one's not going to be done this weekend for the podcast. So luckily it's not terrible. I can go back. It won't take me that long. I do have a book that I'm reading, and since Wes is gone this afternoon, I will probably rip it out and read my book and reknit my heel for the third time, and then I should be able to knit down the foot and finish this so that these will be finished on next week's podcast. So yeah. Those are my calendula cable socks, and I am absolutely loving the yarn, and it is super sturdy, and it's holding up very well to a ripping and re-ripping, which is totally user error. But yes, that is the status of my socks for this week. So that is project number 1. Project number 2 that I am knitting, as I told you last week, I am knitting a featherweight cardigan, which is by Hannah Fettig. I'm knitting it as a shop sample out of Haiku, which is a yarn by Skacel. It's Riley, which is a sport weight alpaca, linen, and silk. And we are using Custom Fit to knit it. So as I discussed last week, Custom Fit has you knit the sweater in pieces and seam it together, and I chose to go the seamless route. I now have the body done. It's suggested that I block the pieces before going further, so that is what I did last night. I need to attach the fronts and the backs at the shoulders, but this is the body of my sweater, and it's got a really nice drape, and a washing and blocking kind of evened out some of the stitches. And so what I will do is attach at the shoulders tonight, and then it has you pick up and do a short row sleeve cap. So I will be working on that, the sleeves this week, and then it will have a big neckband. So this will give you just a little bit more in terms of the stitch. It's a beautiful sea blue. It will be kind of sheer. That was by request of the shop owner. So that is the other project that I have spent quite a bit of time working on. I believe I was somewhere down here when I showed you last week, so I did get a lot of work in on this one. I spent a little time on my pie shawl, though not enough for you to see anything, so I did not bring that in, and Krita did not see any love this week, so I did not bring that in either. And I just realized that I forgot to do what I'm wearing right after tea as I'm looking. I am wearing the Shalom cardigan, which is by Megan McFarlane. Hers actually does not have sleeves, but I wanted mine to have have sleeves. This is the first patchwork kit or patchwork sweater that I spun myself. What I did was I took 5 different bags of fiber. I know that at least one was Southern Cross fiber, one was Hello Yarn, one was Fat Cat Knits, and I can't remember what the other 2 were. I tore them all into strips and spun up all the bobbins differently and plied them together so that when I was done, I just got a crazy patchwork yarn. And this is knit top down. It's not a raglan, it's actually a yoked sweater. And then I knit the body, and then I knit 3/4 sleeves. And it has been, I love this. I finished this a couple years ago on my birthday. And it is a great spring sweater because it's got a million colors, and I have all different colored shirts so that I can basically wear it any day of the week with any color shirt. And the 3/4 sleeves are absolutely perfect for cool days, but not cold, when I need a little something over a t-shirt. So that is my Shalom cardigan. I will have links in the show notes, and they're also, all of these projects are going to be on my Ravelry project page. So that gets through the knitting and what I'm wearing and what I was sipping, which means it is time for spinning. I actually have had a pretty active week. I got 2 bumps of fiber spun up. The first one that I want to show you, however, was the one from last week that was still wet. So technically this was finished last week, but it just wasn't ready to show last week. This was a braid of BFL by Hello Yarn, and it was in the Tantrum colorway, and it is yellows and purples. And it almost reminds me of, and I'm not even sure what team it would be, but a sports team, because it's really the 2 colors. Now the yellow, you really may not be able to see it too much. The yellow kind of alternates between a butter yellow and kind of a goldenrod or egg yolk yellow. So it's got kind of a pale, almost butter or lemon, and then a much brighter yellow. And then the purples kind of go between a violet, and then there were also a few kind of magenta streaks in there. So you've got mostly a blue purple, but a little bit of a red purple. And then you've got some soft areas where you get like a little bit of lavender almost with the yellows. So this is BFL, which means it would be great for socks or an accessory. I believe I got between $250 and $275 of sport weight, and this is up in the shop if these colors appeal to you. So that was my spin actually for last week. Then if you were following my Instagram or you watched last week's podcast, I showed you a huge fluffy bat of all different colors that I had made in January that I wanted to spin up. And it was enormous. I had plenty of you ask me how much was in it. I didn't actually weigh the bat before I spun it. I weighed it after, and it came out to 4.3 ounces, which is actually a little bit less than I would have thought. I would have thought it was closer to 5 ounces. That said, it probably just had a heck of a lot of air in it from the carder, and it was kind of big and floofy, and the more air you have, the bigger it looks. So it wasn't quite as big as I thought. However, I went ahead and spun it, and it was pretty much all semi-solid colorways. So I got this really pretty jewel-toned skein, and I'm trying to remember, there was kind of, the yellow is almost like a neon highlighter yellow. There were greens, and there were some teals, there were some oranges and reds. There was some pale pink, there was some purple, and it's just a really beautiful multicolored skein. Now, this one I'm actually not putting up in the shop because, to be honest, I have no idea what's in this. It is a variety of wools. There might be some alpaca, there might be some bamboo, there might be some silk. I have no idea, because basically the way this was made is everybody brought 4 ounces of fiber, you ripped your fiber into little bits, and everyone got little bits of everyone else's fiber, and then we all went to work on the carder, just carding up whatever order we wanted. So I don't know what's in this, which means I'm not going to sell it, but I am super pleased. I got about 280 yards of sport weight, and I'm thinking maybe mittens for me next for next winter. They are, I just love all these colors, and they would be super fun, and they won't match, but they'll be very fraternal, and I thought that might be fun. So maybe mittens for me. That's what I'm thinking about. So this was the first spin of this week. It started it last Sunday when I went to Spinning Sunday, and I actually hurried through it. I spun 2 ounces on Sunday during the day. I spun the 3rd Sunday night. I spun the 4th and a bit on Monday, and I plied it on Tuesday because I wanted to have my bobbins clear. As I have mentioned, Southern Cross Fiber, David, started a Mega Sal, which is a mega spin along, and he and 6 other dyers, it was Hello Yarn Adrian, Fat Cat Knits Ginny, Into the World Chris and James, Nest Fibers, and I don't know her first name, Spunky Eclectic, Amy Boogie, and David from Southern Cross Fibers. All 6 dyers each did 2 colorways based on characters or concepts from the Discworld novels by Terry Pratchett. And they sold these colorways throughout March, and we were asked to wait till April 1st to start spinning so that we could spin along through April and May together. I count myself very fortunate. I hit updates and I got at least 1 color from every dyer, which was amazing. For the most part, the competition was fierce, so I only got 1 braid, but there were some beautiful, beautiful colors, and you will see me spinning them up this week, or in the next few weeks. If you looked at my Instagram feed this week, I posted a beautiful braid. It was a merino sparkle, which is a trilobal nylon. It's a nylon that is sparkly, and so it was a merino sparkle by Fat Cat Knits in the colorway Noble Dragon. Unfortunately, I don't have that to show you because I plied it up this morning and it is soaking wet. So it is still drying. I will bring it to show you on next week's podcast, and if you tune in probably either tomorrow night or Tuesday, I will post that in my feed on Instagram once it's dry and I can take some pictures. However, that means the wheel is clear again and it is time to select another one. So this colorway is spun by Spunky Eclectic, and it is called Octarine. Now, Octarine is a purplish, yellowish, greenish light that is associated with magic. So only magic makers can see it, not the rest of us muggles. This is a braid on Falkland and has all kinds of just beautiful colors. I can't wait to see how this spins up. This will be my project for this week, and I'm hoping to get back on, for a while I had a spinning schedule going where I would spin Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I would ply up on Friday. It would be dry on Sunday so I could show you, and then start a new braid on Monday. I am hoping to get back into that schedule because I really hate having like one drying and one over here and showing you one from a week ago, and so but this will be spun this week, so next week I will have this week's to show you and this one. So that is what's coming up in my spinning. And I suppose, like I said, I told you I will be fixing that sock this week, so aggravating. And I will be working on the sweater, trying to put some sleeves on it. And actually, I am hoping to get, I'm hoping to finish the current chart on the pie shawl. So I have my work cut out for me this week, and once the socks are finished, Krita will become my work project, so I hope to actually make more progress on that too. Right now, I am kind of plagued by I want to knit all of the things. I went through a period of a few weeks where I just didn't know what to knit, and so I picked up a variety of projects. I volunteered to knit this sample, and now all of a sudden I kind of have some inspiration and some ideas on what I want to knit, and now I have so many things going that I feel like I can't cast on anymore until I start to finish them. So the project this week is to finish at least one, so that I can concentrate on some of the others and eventually move towards casting something new on. So this episode is a bit shorter than I have been doing. I think it's probably because I talked really fast and I don't have any current events in the group to promo. I decided we'd take this month off and then regroup. I suspect that there will probably be some kind of summer knit along coming up in May and June. If you have ideas on things you would like to do as a group, or if you have questions for me, I would love to answer them. Please feel free to ask me either here on YouTube or in the group, or you're welcome to send me messages on Ravelry or via email. Please get in contact with me. I would love to hear from you. And I suppose that's what I have for you this week. I will say, as I do every week, I hope you've had a wonderful week, and coming up, happy knitting, happy spinning, happy sipping, and I'll see you next time. Bye!